Hey, this is Paul, and it's dragon fruit season here, and you can see how I like to root my cuttings during our dragon fruit growing season, during our summertime especially. So, I have lots of different methods here, and over the years we've tried different things. Sand, straight sand has worked really well. Straight pumice has worked really well. Our dragon fruit mixture has worked really well. But thanks to our friend Stephen Miller, he's recommended pure Sunshine Mix number 4. I was using pumice 50% and Sunshine Mix, but now I'm using straight 100% Sunshine Mix number 4, and I'm getting really vigorous root growth. Look at that. And this is just a little cotton candy that's probably been in here for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And look at that. So really great results, and I think a lot of it is mainly because Sunshine Mix number 4, it cycles wet to dry really quickly. And I think that has something to do with triggering the root development of these mystical plants. So straight 100% Sunshine Mix number 4. Also, it's really light. Feel how light that is, Scott.
Oh yeah, that's surprisingly light.
So we've done some videos about Sunshine Mix number 4, but as you can see, it's not just in here, we've expanded. And now I'm doing all sorts of cuttings here. I have young, old, and some even with some rust, and just really great results. You can see I'm watering them every other day. And young cuttings, I think there's a lot of growth hormones in them or something, because they're rooting like insane. Also, look at our temperature here. We're ranging about 100 to 110. So you can see it's hot in here. I'm really hot. And what it is the key is the UV. So dragon fruit can take a lot of high heat. They just don't like an intense UV, a high UV index. So this material here has been really helpful to blocking the UV, but yet maintaining a really high temperature. I mean, you can see I have another one of these too. And a lot of these are starting to root. You can see they're in sun most of the day, and see how quickly they cycle dry. So Sunshine Mix number 4 has worked really well. Look at all the varieties, really rare things. Here's a rickrack. And must have what, 300 or 400 cuttings here?
Yeah, there's a lot.
I've had 0 rot. I mean, we have another one over there we didn't show. So actually 2 more. So 0 rot, 100% success, just really easy. I'm planting them, or I've set these to where they are north facing. So that way none of the sun's coming in. I'm keeping them open because it's just getting so hot. I had them closed. It was 130 degrees in here.
Oh,
and they
my
started
gosh.
to yellow a little bit.
Damn.
But they didn't die. So 100 to 110 degrees is optimal, believe it or not, really high temperature. So let me show you how I'm getting these rooted so successfully and so easily. So let's head down the hill and do the steps. Okay, here is the magic. This is Sunshine Mix number 4. I find these at the big box stores. You can find it at hydroponic stores anywhere. Some of the stores will sell the purple. I call this the purple bag. I also see black bags. I think it's a different brand. But same mixture. It's peat moss, perlite, and mycorrhizal fungi. And that is the magic. It's really light and very soft and loamy. And I believe the roots can just spread really quickly. And again, that cycling wet to dry really quick is what we want. Also, it's really light. So it's so much lighter than mixing it with sand or pumice or any of those other heavier things that we could substrates. So
how much is a bag of that?
It used to be like 20. It's gone up to like 30 to 40 bucks, I would say.
Okay.
But it's 3 cubic feet. And I can probably fill, I want to say about 50 to 60 1-gallon pots like this.
That's pretty good.
Now another key thing in my opinion is that if you like these 1-gallon nursery pots like I do, is I buy these at a hydroponic shop and they're 64 cents each plus tax, and they're really thick and sturdy. Now you can also do a clear cup, like a Starbucks cup if you're on a budget, but I really like 1-gallon pots because once I get them rooted in a 1-gallon pot, I feel that they're ready to start transitioning to more sunlight. So I like to get a nice root ball of about 1-gallon size for the root ball. So it's really simple. You just don't want to breathe it in, fill up your pot, and I'll show you the next step. Let's head up the hill. Okay, so I like to root my cuttings in the shade, as you can see. And a lot of these are younger cuttings, which some people, you definitely don't want to buy these. I don't recommend buying them, but I'm just going to root them here for myself. And what happens is I believe there's a lot of growth hormones in these plants, in these younger cuttings, so they actually end up rooting pretty well. Now you could use nothing and just root them, but I like to use Vermistera's Vitality instead of a rooting hormone. Vermistera recommended that I try this, and I've been doing it for a few years now, and it's all I do now. So I have a couple pipes red here, Cocoa Iris, look at really young cutting here. And normally I might sit them in this mixture for anywhere from a few minutes to maybe overnight. I've done it overnight. It doesn't really matter, but I would probably generally leave them in here for at least 5-10 minutes, and I'll come back, and then I like to plant them. Now, especially a young cutting like this, what I want to do is I want to break off the tip. So that way it will stop the growth and it will now send its energy backwards, and usually I notice it starts to root quicker. So I dip it in really well, and then I just tie it up to a piece of bamboo that I collected from our yard. Now, I usually use the clear tape, but I can't find any right now. I have this green tape. It's a little more firm. It's harder to remove. But you definitely just tie it up, and then you're going to want to water it really well, which I'll show you how to do that in a few minutes. So I just repeat the process here. Young cuttings, old cuttings, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the variety. You could see here's a polyrhizis. Here's a Guatemalan variety, Cetaceous, if they call that, you know, Pink Panther. So all different varieties. I do the same method, and it's been working really, really well. So you can see I've done it hundreds of times, maybe probably thousands. And as long as you don't plant them too deep, that would be my recommendation. A lot of people will plant them really deep, and as you can see, I do not. So what I do is I just set them in, I'd say about a ½ an inch. That's about all you need to go. I mean, do not do that. There's no need. A lot of people do that. I recommend, again, just slightly. Okay, I've let these callus for about 24 to 48 hours. You could do it longer, up to a week, but not really, that's not needed. So now you can keep them in indirect sunlight in the shade, but if you have a hothouse or a greenhouse, or even somewhere warm in your garage, or even in a windowsill that gets indirect light, just want to put them in here.
How much did you pay for these hot houses?
I got these on Amazon for, I think they were 80 bucks.
That's
and then
reasonable.
they actually had different racks, and you can see I didn't put the racks down low here. So I just doubled up the racks up top.
They come with the racks?
Yeah, they came with everything included here. They're about, I think, $80. I want to say $78. I'll put the link in so you could check them out if you want. They have windows, really easy to put together. And as you can see, I must have what, I probably have at least 100 in each one. I could probably squeeze in more if I wanted to. I mean, I use them for my seedlings. We have several of them, and they've just worked out really well so far. It hasn't been too windy. That's the one thing I'm concerned about, is having a really strong wind, but they've been great. The one thing I need to do now is water them, so let me do that. Okay, the most critical step is now watering. So as you can see, I water the flesh of the plant and the Sunshine Mix number 4 just lightly like that. That's it. And then I end up doing it every other day. So I watered a lot of these last night. You can see they're still damp. And I probably could water them every day. I mean, it's just too excessive. But another thing is, you're going to see that I tend to get more sunlight on this side. So certain varieties I noticed maybe I might see a slight yellowing. I'll put them down here, down low. And so down low tends to be a little less more sunlight. Look at that, we even have a flower bud in here off a cutting. See? So they're really happy, really healthy. And again, this is really high heat. It's 100, 110 degrees in here consistently throughout the day. And these plants are just really happy. So Sunshine Mix number 4 and a nice warm weather, and you're gonna have a lot of really happy, really healthy rooted dragon fruit plants for you to share and grow. So there you go. That's what I like to do this summer. I don't use any heating mats. I don't use anything else, but this is the method I've been using now for 2 years, and it's all I do. So give us a like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Take care.